My prayers continue to be with the victims and their families in Uvalde, Texas. And we all have the same heartbreak when we see something like that happen. What we saw, unfortunately, in the minutes and hours after, by some people here in Washington, was a movement to promote their political agenda on the heels of that tragedy. And what they were talking about the night of the shooting was trying to get Congress to move a bill that had passed the House, a gun control bill, H.R. 8, that would have had absolutely nothing to do with the shooting, instead of focusing on some fundamental questions that ought to be asked every time there's a tragedy in this country. Why did it happen? And are there things we can do to prevent it? And I go back to September 11th, because on that tragic day, the country made a clear realization that dots weren't being connected. Terrorist attacks were happening, and the country didn't have the right focus on the fundamental core problems that were creating those attacks. And airplanes were used that day as the weapon to kill thousands of people and to inflict terror on our country. There wasn't a conversation about banning airplanes. There was a conversation about connecting the dots. How can we try to figure out if there are signs we can see to stop the next attack from happening? And some people might have thought that wasn't possible. And yet, because Congress came together and focused on the root cause of the problem, thank God we have been able to stop other attacks on our homeland. And there have been many attempts. But because we put the focus on connecting the dots, we were able to stop them before they happened. That's the focus we need to have. Whether it's school shootings, we saw the other day in Berkeley, California, there was an attempt for a student to blow up his high school. Luckily, another student got wind of it and tipped off authorities. And the authorities were able to use due process of law to go and arrest that student. So the attack never happened. Our focus needs to be on that kind of prevention, that kind of intervention, what Richard Hudson was talking about. It's things like hardening schools. It's things like mental health counselors. It's things like helping teach other students the telltale signs, because we've seen in so many of these mass shootings that many students knew this was going to happen before the event. Maybe they didn't think it was real. Maybe they didn't know what to do with that information, but they knew that that student was going to do something. And unfortunately, up here this week, today and tomorrow, you're going to see a lot of bills that are attempting to take away the gun rights of law-abiding citizens, not to focus on those core fundamental problems. You had 8 AR-15s in the 1960s. You didn't have those mass school shootings. Now, I know it's something that some people don't want to talk about. We actually had prayer in school during those days. We had other things going on in our society where we took a different approach to our young kids. And let's look at that. These are tough conversations we should be having that we're not having about why we're seeing more young kids go astray. But instead of that, all we see is a rush to go take away the rights of law-abiding citizens to have guns. And it's not just rifles. You saw President Biden himself the other day talking about going after handguns. And yet, every day in America, people use guns to protect themselves. There are record numbers right now. Millions of Americans buying guns for the first time because crime is out of control in America. It's not just in our schools, it's all across our country. When the defund the police movement started, well, you have DAs now who won't even prosecute criminals at certain levels of crime. They wait until it becomes a really violent crime. They're letting criminals out on the streets, and lo and behold, we have more crime. So citizens in every community, African-American communities, Hispanic communities, Asian communities, are saying if the government's not going to take care of their job of keeping our community safe, we're going to do it ourselves by exercising our Second Amendment rights and buying a gun. Millions of people, first-time gun buyers last year. And to just discard their rights, number one, is unconstitutional, but it's ignoring the fundamental problem that's going on right now. And so it's a shame that that's not where our focus is fixing and addressing those fundamental problems. But we as House Republicans are going to keep pushing to do that. We're going to force votes on Richard Hudson's bills that would actually get to some of those fundamental questions, as opposed to bills that in states across the country like California, taking away 18 to 20-year-olds' right to buy a gun was ruled unconstitutional by the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeal, of all places. Red flag laws where they don't even have due process, which is enshrined in multiple parts of our United States Constitution. That's the road the Democrats are going down, and it's a shame because it ignores addressing the fundamental problem. So there's obviously other things going on. This January 6th commission, as my colleagues talked about. The idea that Nancy Pelosi continues to politicize January 6th while ignoring things like high gas prices, inflation that's out of control, a border crisis that has brought not only millions of people into our country illegally, but fentanyl. You want to talk about deaths among young kids? Thousands of young kids have died from fentanyl that's come across our southern border last year alone. Over 100,000 Americans last year died from the opioids that are coming across our open southern border. We can do something about that today. And unfortunately, there's no legislation that Speaker Pelosi will bring to secure our southern border. There's no primetime hearing to talk about what needs to be done to keep Americans safe. And that's a shame, too. And finally, and we'll take questions, it's angering when you see that there was a man arrested just a little while ago, last night, out in front of Justice Kavanaugh's house trying to kill him. When we were vocal a few weeks ago, speaking out against this encouragement you saw from the White House on down to encourage people to go to the homes, the private homes of Supreme Court justices, it is a dangerous trend. Exercising First Amendment rights is one thing. Encouraging people to go to the homes of Supreme Court justices, you see where that can lead. And it's a shame. Thank God law enforcement was able to arrest the man who was intending on committing that action. But it just reminds us all, let's try to continue to focus on problems, not try to create problems.